points last season. But it's a very different time now, very different looking teams on both sides, featuring plenty of new faces. So it's almost an irrelevance to talk about last season's fixture. But they've already had a look at each other, these two sides, having met on Saturday in the MTN 8. So, well, it's a very difficult one to try and prepare for when you're going to play the same opposition on 3 different occasions. It's not something that happens often. Teko Modise is alongside me, a man who wore the black and white of Orlando Pirates, of course, very famously so, and he's with me for this one this evening, as you've already heard from him. Teko Modise, it's a tricky assignment. I don't know, from a coach's point of view, Cedric Kaza was saying it makes prep planning a little bit easier because there's no real analysis required. But I'll get your thoughts in a moment. Let's just confirm team news now. Changes plenty. Pirates were starting in defense, where they've brought in a debut on the first appearance for Spangani Zulu, signed from Richards Bay. Daniel Msendami comes into the attack as well for his first start of the season. And Tumelo Radiopani also makes a first start in the Betway Premiership. Those changes, your thoughts on that?
I think from the changes, I think it's just all about getting more fresh legs to be able to sustain this type of play that they want to do. But important player, the Apolis on the left-hand side, is going to be very, very key. Radiopani as well, been given an opportunity. It is a team that hasn't really had a striker that is on a score sheet. Radiopani becomes important, especially playing at home.
Yes, and of course changes on the bench as well, where Buhlali who's an attacker signed from Swelele, amongst those included in defense. Centre back and Pocha Batsani is included on the bench, and no Spacey, of course. Now, this is what Cedric Kaza has done. 3 changes. Siyabonga Ndlozi gets a run out, his first appearance in the Betway Premiership against his former club. Tato Khiba has been included in midfield as well, and Mukibelo Ramabu came off the bench at the weekend. He gets to start in their attack.
Yeah, I think with Ramabu and Mujela, you can just tell us that it is a team that will rely on those transitions, because those players are very, very speedy. But what's impressive about Ndlovu, he's such a big boy, very aggressive, will be able to hold on to the play. Khiba coming to that midfield just to help him, Kiza, to be able to control the tempo of the game.
Dion Hotto wears the captain's armband this evening in the absence of Gosnatis Besi. Referee this evening, Pilanenko Sekhumalo, assisted by Messrs. Lalelani Mkati and Kamusu Rasmisani and Akona Makalima. Miss Akona Makalima is the 4th official. Match commissioner, Job Smith. The Centerline fans are in attendance. They've got a massive banner there paying tribute to the departed Tito Maswanganyi. There's Cedric Kaza, a man who is yet to register a win against Orlando Pirates as a coach. And Cedric Kaza's opposite number, Abdeslam Wadu, got his first win against Sekhukhune in that 1-0 win in the first leg of the MTN 8. They'll do it all again right here this coming Saturday. So, all set then for action as the Buccaneers give the Scanlan the cross-boned salute. Melusi Telezi closest to the camera there, gets another start against his former teammates as he returns to the Orlando Stadium for the first time. All set for action, and it will be the birthday boy, Oswin Apollos. Happy birthday to him. He turns 25 this evening. He gets the party started, right? Well, he hopes it will be a party for Orlando Pirates. As I said, they'll have a score to settle against Sekhukhune United. Sekhukhune United are the only side that prevented Pirates scoring home and away last season. They've been a difficult nut to crack for Pirates over the seasons. 4 wins apiece in their previous 10 meetings with 2 draws, and it's never high-scoring games. In fact, the biggest win in this fixture was a 2-1 win or 2-0 win for Sekhukhune United. So it's a bit of a, if you like, a bogey side for Pirates to come this.
And the funny side about that is that it always happens with the new coach. Last season it was Coach Eric Tinkler. And this season, of course, they do have Coach Kaze as well, so it will be very, very challenging for Orlando Pirates. You always have one of those teams that becomes a boogie side on your side, regardless of how you play. They just find a way to either, sneak in a draw there or be able to smash and grab a victory. But it's going to be very important for Orlando Pirates, knowing that they are the defending champion. There's a lot of expectation, especially playing here at home.
Foul there on Mtiane, the former Stellies man who plays next to his, alongside his former Stellies teammate, it's Tepelo Mokubuli, who was, both had a very good game, I thought, against Sekhukhune last weekend. And, well, we're interesting to see how Sekhukhune approach things tonight now. Sbelebele getting in behind the defense and good recovery there from D'Angelo Kazim, man who's filling the berth at left back in the absence of Vuyo Letlapa. Big boots to fill there in terms of a form that we saw from Vuyo Letlapa last season, form that earned him a place in the national team, no less.
Yeah, it's a stiff competition on the left-hand side, but an equally important job that needs to be done by Kazim today, knowing that Sbelebele will be the one that actually, bump through into those type of positions. Defensively, he's going to be asked many questions, but also will he be able to take this type of risk when there is a space that he can literally use going forward to help the team going forward.
A corner early on here, an attacking platform for Orlando Pirates. It's Dion Hotta who scored his first of the season last weekend in Polokwane. And combining nicely here now, ball whipped in! And Melusip Teles, a great reflex save. Great reflex save from Melusip Teles against his former teammates. Well, they left him a little present in the net as we have a look at this.
Yeah, look at how poor defensively Sekhukhune was. I mean, it was a 2v1. They never really pushed out anybody there to be able to try and block that cross from Masilela. But yet again, Zulu nearly really troubled this man that put on a save. But they need to be very switched on. That is Sekhukhune defensively.
Seems to have done himself a bit of an injury in making that save, but he's still on his feet, but somewhat gingerly on his feet. Here's Apollos. Twisting one way, then the other, and then just doing a little bit too much, and then trying a rugby tackle there. Referee waves play on. So as well as I'm saying, that it'll be interesting to see how Sekhukhune go about things this time around. They were very timid out in Polokwane at the weekend, and Pirates, there's a problem here. Could it be that egg that they left him in the net?
This is the save that he had to, it's a reflex save, he had to go down as quickly as possible because there was a few men inside that box, and maybe that's why he is sustaining that type of injury. But poor defensively done by Sekhukhune. They could have done better, especially knowing that there was two out and out the box with Masilela and Hoto. They could have actually pushed one more person in to try and close down the cross.
And some quick words there. But let's it looks like it's the knee. I'm not sure how he would have. Was it maybe the way he landed when he made that save? He had to go down very quickly to make the save. So here's a little egg they left for him in the net with a message written on it. And from 35 to 30, the message was. He saw the funny side of it. There you go, there's his number, 35, which he wore at Pirates, to 30, which is now wearing for Sekhukhune. It sure gives new meaning to the expression, Ikonda ngapha, Ikonda ngalena. It looks like he's all right. He'll be determined to do well here when he's returned to the Orlando Stadium. I don't think there was much he could have done. He was left a little exposed with the goal that Dion Hotta scored at the weekend. His defender just left him exposed, and it was a difficult one. An excellent finish from Dion Hotta. And play will continue now. Now the keeper is ready to continue. So good news, no need to look to Tostan Sabata, who is on the bench for Sekhukhune this evening. Lots of players out there then It's actually, you could venture, I mean, with all the changes that they've made, different, and in various areas of the field, the Tikomdise, it's almost like, yeah, you actually have to make a different plan as a coach, because it's not really the same, well, it'll be the same formation, but very different players that you are preparing for.
It is, but normally with all the teams, even if there is depth, but the philosophy is still the same. You know, the expectations are still the same. It's just that those individual qualities of the players that they have, that you can't plan around, because then, you know, the likes of Apollo, there's always talent and they can create a goal and create anything from there. But this is the test for Sekhukhune, to be a little more braver come the weekend, but you need to test it with this game.
Absolutely. And also have a look at maybe being more brave as well, because there's been a bit of disruption to the lineup. I say disruption in inverted commas. So you've got a new combination at centre back, you've got a new man up front in Betway. And I will get a word from you in a moment what he will bring that's different from Butuma, who has started every other game this season, but clearly been given a rest now. And also just give him a little bit time to rest his mind as well, because he was starting to come in for a little bit of stick from the fans.
It's just that it's part of that, unfortunately. It's part of playing for such a big team like Orlando Pirates. When you're a striker, unfortunately, in today's football, you're only going to be judged based on goals, regardless of how hard work, the hard work that you're putting in. And for Butuma, he's done so much, especially up front. But of course, you need to find a little bit of a balance for him to regain his confidence, especially in scoring goals. And you do have Radio Pan as well that hasn't really hit the ground running for Orlando Pirates side. So it becomes an important fixtures and games whenever they're given an opportunity to show the Orlando Pirates fans as then what is it that they can do going in front, because the season's going to be long. You also need your front three, your front four to be able to chip in terms of goals.
Yeah, no evidence, Makopa, to help in terms of backup in the striking department. So yeah, there's an opportunity for Radio Pan. You had a very good pre-season, by the way. Looked very good out in Spain, looked hungry, looked fitter, and we've seen him in a long time, because he's another one who's actually struggles with injuries. So it's really battled to sustain any sort of run because of injuries.
Unfortunately for him, and I think maybe also that altered a little bit as to how he plays. But now he's not as mobile as he used to, but now he's more of a player that can hold on the play, but good finisher as well. So he needs to position himself good inside that box, but also get involved, because then you do have runners out wide that will be able to maybe help inside the box whenever there is a cross.
First signed by Pirates in 2021. Tumelo Radio Pani is at a spell out loan at Spurs. I think that was his more successful spell away from the club. Let's have a look at what Pirates can do now, enjoying quite a lion's share of the possession early on here. And they've already had a strike on target. Quickly taken by Orlando Pirates, and a good running here from Sibilibele, the cutback, but Apollos lost his footing there. Here's a man running onto it. I'm sure he'd like to celebrate his birthday with a goal. Then offside at this time. Daniel Msename, who is getting his first, already off the mark. Scored against Chippa United. This is his first start, no? Came off the bench to go score against Chippa United, but well offside there.
Yeah, well offside indeed. But you can see also the overload that's going to happen from Sekhukune's left, where Kazim is playing. So it's going to require Ramabu, that has switched with Mujela, to do their defensive work, because Sibilibele will push up front. Now, you know, it's going to be that little bit of a confusing work, Kazim to take Sibilibele or to stay out wide to deal with him.
Sekhukhune dropped Sekhukhune dropped the Tempo Mukwena to the bench. Had a very quiet game on Saturday.
I think it's one of also the star players this season. He's been doing great. But unfortunately for, those type of games where you expected, there's a lot of expectation from you and then never played well, maybe a little bit of rest will do good.
They said opening up here now, that's a heavy touch from Ramala. And that's not the kind of service that Ndlovu would have been looking for. It really is a handful that is Ndlovu. Works ever so hard, physically imposing player.
Yes, indeed. Never gets tired and chase everything. And I heard a story as well that he was once a goalkeeper, I think, in the lower division as well.
Well, I didn't know about the goalkeeper. I know he was a centre back as Kroos comes in. In fact, Sekhukhune signed him as a centre back, and then when he went over loan to Kruger, was banging in goals there. They brought him back and said, well, maybe you should play striker. And that's what he's done last season. As we look at Apollos. Nice little ball clipped into Apollos, blocked by Cardoso.
Look at the way Orlando Pirates are, structure themselves. You would swear that Sibili is not a right back because of the position that he assumes. That adds so much numbers going forward, and that frees the midfielders. That's why the likes of Mtia and Mukoburi, it's going to be very, very important to be able to make sure that when they are in control of the ball, they need to use that ball well, because if they do dispossess, that space is going to be left behind.
Kazim at left back's going to have his work cut out with Bilibili's forward runs here. That one wouldn't sit down, wouldn't drop for Radio Bani. But Pirates retain possession, and they'll come again. Sbilivili, still Sbilivili, and very good defending there. Very calm defending. Oof. That was a meaty challenge by Mukubudi on Mutela. Quickly taken now. Can they hit on the break and use a little bit of the pace that we know they have? Oh, just too heavy for Ramala. So pulling out wide there.
You can see also from that quick play that they try to utilize the spaces a little bit quicker, not to allow Orlando Pirates to really settle in the defensive line. So, and I think also in Ndlovu we had an option on the left hand side where Rama was, but those are spaces that they will try and use whenever they are in possession of the ball.
He's given a free kick to Orlando Pirates. Trying to play themselves out of here, but Pirates are applying the press, making it very difficult for them to get out. And away by the Eggman.
That's his name for today.
Wonder what the story is with the egg. Very cute though. Nice sense of humor. As Kazi, as I said, he's going to have his work cut out dealing with him, Senami and Sbilivili down this right-hand side.
You can see also he's signaling to the coaches that then there's two of them. We spoke about that, and if one of the attackers is not doing the defensive duties, then it really depletes the midfield, because then it forces Mkiza or Kiba to be the one that switches there, or a centre back that is Cardoso to be able to switch there. So you open up gaps where you're not supposed to. So it's going to be very, very, very demanding for either Ramabu or Mujera to be able to do help defensively.
Otherwise, see the possession heavily in favor of Orlando Pirates early on here. It's a good ball, but had gone a bit early there at Oswin Apollos. Oswin Apollos scored. There you go. A birthday message for Oswin Apollos, 25 years old today. Kick again for Pirates. It's Sekhukhune being forced into a lot of fouls as they're desperately trying to get onto the ball. Who've won only one of their last 4 matches against Sekhukhune, as Cardoso sends it all the way back to Dilezi. Sanami, whose 1 goal has already matched his tally for last season, and the 1 goal that he scored last season was while he was still at Marumo Gallants. Has made the move in January to Orlando Pirates. So got his first Betway Premiership goal for Pirates against Chippa United. Now, Siema has become Mr. Reliable in defense for Orlando Pirates. Dion Hato, good work there defensively to cut that one out. Kize, the little back here, Mochela. This is nice one-touch football here from Sekhukhune. And now Spilevele tracking back, do his primary work, the duties, and that is defend. Kazim managing to get up the field. Is it a goal kick?
Nice throw in.
That's a beautiful touch there from Pirates supporters, then saluting and sending a big send-off for Tito Maswanganyi, who's gone off to play his football in the Middle East there. Go and get some petrodollars. And there's a player who entertained in the short spell that he, relatively speaking, a short spell that he had with the Orlando Pirates. He's definitely one of the more, and he was an entertainer. He was Tito Maswanganyi. Frustrated and inspired in equal measure did Tito Maswanganyi at times, but never a down moment with him around. Scored in very big goals and contributed in very many important matters. Could be something on here. Good pressure be put on here by Sekhukhune Pirates, not clearing their lines, and Sekhukhune also struggling to get the ball away. A comedy of errors there at the back. Pirates not clearing their lines. And Keze involved. He's a man who got the only goal of the game in the corresponding fixture last season, which also happened to be his only goal of that season. Radiopane slipped in here, and just the ball played in behind him. Didn't really get it into his stride.
It really didn't, because it was caught in between the 2 defenders, and also our police as well tried to play the ball a bit earlier on before Radiopane was in an offside position. That's a good decision to make. It just that he was let down by that pass, but fans will be expecting Radiopane to make those type of runs, the coach as well, the players as well, just to be able to stretch that defensive line that for Sekhukhune United, to free the midfielders.
Here comes Sekhukhune again. Maybe that little goal-mouth scramble might have given him some encouragement to be a bit more adventurous going forward. I mean, if there's something that we've seen early on from them this season, is that they've had a go at teams, you know, and they've been rewarded because they've scored lots of goals as well.
They have been, and that's the type of football that you want to, play with an idea, or play with the belief that every game that you go into, you're going to try and win the game. And that's a positive football. Then you allow your attackers, your Mujela, to be able to get that little bit of confidence going forward. But you can see here how they fought for this ball. Mujela making sure that it's not an easy one for a catch for China, and then you can see also Orlando Pirates unable to clear the lines, but still, they still had some defensive work to do.
Just trying the shot to get a shot away, it wasn't coming. And half chance they're going to begging. Ramabu. Referee deciding he tripped over his own feet there. 20 minutes gone at the Orlando Stadium. Still no goals, but it's been all Pirates in terms of possession, and that's going to run away from him, Sendami. Just a bit too heavy there from Oswin Paulus.
Seen earlier on, this type of run was done by Radiopana. This time around was Msendan. Unfortunately, the ball was too heavy, but it was Apolis again being the instrumental in around those midfield. As much as his play is wide, but he's got that freedom to be able to move around and create and add numbers in that creative zone.
You look to him now, he's going to have to carry a lot of the responsibility now that, you know, in inverted commas, the senior man, but that's what he is now in that Pirates midfield.
Yes,
and I mean, he's got players who are in their first season around him.
And TT as well, from a player that really came to a lot of Pirates side last season and just hit the ground running. He comes from a team that he was carrying season after season. Yeah. So carrying a team, it's not going to be new. Of course, two teams are very different. Orlando Pirates is a bigger team, but still, he was a star player last season.
Scored Apollos 9 times in the Betway Premiership last season. Was an ever-present. He was featured in all 30 matches. Had 10 goal involvements and 1 assist, surprisingly. They've lost their big chance creator. In fact, 2 of their big chance creators are now gone. And Rele Mofokeng created 186 chances last season. Tito Maswangange, a distant second with 106. So 2 key players, and Dion Otto is still there. 103 chances he created last season. In terms of games as well, Rele Mofokeng was right up there. He's played 79. Played in 79 matches since Tito Maswangange joined. Did Rele Mofokeng. Maswangange himself played 74 matches for Pirates. Rammala, now if that will be the last thing they need Sekhukhune is to lose Rammala. They've already lost some really important players, as you see the depth of the Orlando Pirates on display there. And Rammala, as his ropes up, they've lost Vuyo Letlapa, looks like a long-term injury, apparently a fractured leg. Play on loan from Mashirwani, who's on loan from Pirates. He's a big blow as well. Give more Coupe, who operates in that midfield area, midfield destroyer. There's another big blow. So, but injuries to 3 key players. Still without Vusi Ngube, the key man in attack. He's supposedly on his way back, but he's not on the team once again this evening. So yeah, he will definitely not want to lose Rammala, but looks like he'll be okay. He's just trying to run around and run it off, if there is such a thing. The physios will tell you there's no such thing as running off an injury.
Yeah, and for me, it's always concerning when I see a player beginning.
That was a heavy touch from Kazim and almost into the path of Radiopani.
Yes, and challenging for him because he's a left footer trying to control the ball with the right, and really need to set Orlando Pirates off to be able to go on and score. I was about to say earlier on, like it's always concerning to see a player that gets injured on a leg that is heavily strapped on. It's always, for me, wow, you're going into a game heavily strapped on, so in your mind already, if anything happens to that leg, you know, so your mind tells you that you're injured, so you better go into the game, you know, 110% ready to be able to compete, especially in this level of the game.
Sipho Chain, what a season he had last time out. Facing one of the few teams that scored against him last season. only 9 teams managed, only in 9 matches did Sipho Chain concede goals. That is a record that I'm sure will take some time to break. 21 clean sheets.
It's a lot of clean sheets.
That is a lot of clean sheets. Now, Apollo has got Sibilibili making a run to his right that goes instead down the middle to Sendami, taking up a central position. Here he is again, Zimbabwean. Thought about a shot, but thought too long. Pickpocketed. Nice turn there. Kazim, D'Angelo Kazim, combining with Ramavu. Mikilo Ramavu. Formerly of Polokwane City, of course, as Ndlovu. Great work from Siema. Oh, what a player he's turning out to be for Orlando Pirates.
Especially after the departure of Mbogazi, Siema became that player that is so reliable with those diagonal balls and all chipping in with goals in important games.
Yeah, he has an eye for goal as well every now and again. But he's very dependable and always so calm on the ball. Ramavu looking to turn Sbilibili. Starting to settle down a little bit now as Sekhukhune, maybe putting together some moves up as well. But as I say that, they gift the ball. Radiopani.
Just maybe looking at the players that you spoke about from the creative point of view that departed from Orlando Pirates. I think what one thing about Tite Masanga, as much as he was an entertainer, as much as he scored important goals in important games, but he was able to slow the game down when it's required to. Really, his creativity is exciting. But yet again, from Orlando Pirates team this season, you're going to need somebody that's going to be able to, control the tempo, slow things down to be able to play.
Shot from him, Sendami. Easy for Telezi. There wasn't really enough power behind that one to trouble Telezi. Siema. Not the first Siema to star in defense for Orlando Pirates. They were captained, of course, by a certain Lolo Siema.
Yeah, he was my captain at Orlando Pirates.
Was he your captain as well?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He was a fantastic defender. He was in his day, Lolo Siema, captain the Buccaneers and his national team, of course.
Betway and the Celtics as well.
Yeah.
Wherever he went, he was a captain.
A leader through and through. These days sitting on the bench for Swelele as coach. United have won their last two visits to the Orlando Stadium. Just again illustrating that how much of a thorn in the side of Orlando Pirates they've been as Radiopani gives chase. Oh, great commitment from Radiopani. They're chasing lost causes, and it was just a crazy tight angle there, but that would have been something special.
It would have been indeed. You spoke earlier as to the hunger that he showed in the preseason. Look at this. Normally a striker like that's the goalkeeper's ball, but look at the hunger that he shows. Using also the right foot rather than this in case left foot because he was on the left side of things. But he could have, if he scored that one, it would have been very special because also there was nobody from Orlando Pirates inside the box. That's what the striker needs to do.
So the great little turn of speed, but there could be problems in here for, that's a heavy touch for Ramala to let it get the ball, get away from him as the man goes down. Somewhat theatrically, was that in Ndlovu? Yeah. And referee not interested. Sendam. Poor pass there from West would easily intercepted. Ramala had a real chance there after mistake by Otto on the other side there, and just his second touch was a poor one. Allowed the ball to get away from him. It's a good one to find Ramavu. brings it out the air, but great work from that man Sbilibeli, who hasn't set a foot wrong really defensively, and he's now sitting back a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think last season as well, he was the leading defender in terms of tackles or 1v1 battles that is won. It's very difficult to beat him. We know that we have, I think, abundance of right backs that does that between him and Modau. Very, very conversational in terms of who's the best, but nonetheless, we do have the best. It's very difficult to be able to beat Svedeville. But yet again, when you're playing against him, TT, you have to go back and defend again.
Yeah. So Matsimbi will collect this one. There's another one who's really been a star performer in that defense for Sekhukhune, has formed a solid partnership with Daniel Cardoso. Kazim seems to be settling down now. Kazim is even venturing forward a bit more. He's been given a tough time early on here by Msenami, and Sbilibili was overlapping, but seems to be sitting back a little bit more now. Here he is, Sbilibili. Well, two sides with contrasting starts to the season. Last time out, the Sekhukhune were unbeaten in their first 8, won 6 and drew 2. Pirates lost their first 2 matches of last season. And then there was already grumblings among the new man on the bench. And guess what? Went on to win it just about everything after that. Here he is, Abdeslam Wadu, his 50th match in charge in all competitions for Orlando Pirates. And what a record he has had in that time as well. ...35 wins from his first 49 matches in charge, 10 draws and only 4 losses. That's a win percentage of 71.4%. Can't argue with that.
Can't indeed. Numbers that are highly expected, especially from the signings that Orlando Pirates has done last season. There's a lot of expectations. This is a game again in the midfield where Ramala, we've seen him, getting involved in too many tussles. Because Orlando Pirates are counter-pressing, it's always going to be expected.
Well, and he's got another task on his hands here, Abdeslam Wadu, because again he's working with a whole lot of new players. So it's virtually like a reset for him. Go again.
Indeed, and he lost so many key players to be able to, to really, because for me, you look at all those players, if they had to stay, if they've stayed, and then you look at the opportunity of going to try and conquer Africa, because you've lost the Mbogazi, Rele, the Songanyi, there's key players in key important positions, but also it really opens up spaces and gaps for players that are new into the team to be able to step up and get their names there.
Closely there, smothered. The former Pirates man himself, of course, was out at Magesi unknown last season. I was remarking over the weekend about, a squad, a team has a lot of new players. When you've got as many players who wear jersey number 40-something on their back, as Pirates do.
Yeah.
Counted 5 in today's matchday squad. Could be something on here. Ndlovu, can he get it under control? No, he finds himself surrounded. But there's some encouragement down that right-hand side for Sekhukhune. They seem to be getting a little bit of joy on that right-hand side.
Yeah, especially with the Mujela there. There's always going to be a little bit of danger, but you can see the strength that was used there. Just to try and manage Ndlovu there, Makodi doing his defensive duties, because there was space, and as a defensive midfielder, those are the spaces that you need to get yourself into to help the team defend.
Paulus. Siama. Sibelebele took a deflection in the 4-4. Radio Party scores! Oh, he's waited for this one for a long time. And he's up and running. Brought into the starting lineup. And he answers. And he answers the confidence shown in him tonight by his coach in perfect fashion. Kaza is not happy with the defending, and I can't say I blame him. I mean, that ball took a deflection to reach Radio Bani. That means there was still no one there.
Exactly.
Covering.
Exactly, TT. But you can look at the distance between the two centre-back pairing, Cardoso and Mansimbi, as to then how the distance was between the two of them. But you look at the ball there, Kazim is forced to go out wide, becomes a 1v1, then there Mansimbi there, because then he's expecting Radio Pan to be able to turn to his strong side, but he's opening it. Actually a nice gap there for the striker to be able to punish there, but it was a deflection, possibly maybe a handball,
possibly even, yeah.
But I mean, it is an advantage that is given to an attacking team. Radio Pane made sure that well, that's just a half chance that was given to him. That's what the top striker with the top finish does.
Buitumelo Radio Pane opens his account and gives the Pirates the lead. That's the first time now the Pirates hadn't scored against Sekhukhune last season. And now they take the lead once again, just as they did at the weekend. The goal came in the 44th minute at the weekend, and this time a little earlier. And it's all to do now for Sekhukhune United, once again having to do a rearguard effort. First goal for Pirates against Sekhukhune since that 2-1 win in the 24-25 season, when they won away from home. Dion Hoto and Makashen Makaola, the scorers that day. And after that, Sekhukhune managed to shut them out. With 3 games in a row that Pirates failed to score in the Premiership against the Sekhukhune. Billy will claim an assist for that goal. But Kazim's marking big question marks as well. He was so far off, so far away from Billy.
It was, and you look at, of course, maybe falls for Sibilibili. There's an opportunity for him to bring the ball into the good area, and also you can't fault a centre back going 1v1, but then you're expecting Mansimbi to be a little bit tighter to Radio Pane, especially when the ball falls into that type of area, and maybe not to allow Radio Pane to be able to turn, just allow also your defensive pairing to be able to get into the shape. But that never happened. That lapse of concentration really gives Radio Pane an opportunity to be able to bang.
Now the Pirates fans finding their voice now, turning the volume up a little bit. As Dion Hoto looks to get forward. Needs to track back now. Here's Ndlovu. Needs support. Itiani puts in a challenge. Good challenge it was too. Clean one.
Indeed, I think it's one of the players as well that Orlando Pirates fan will enjoy watching him play. He does have the pass, he does have the work rate, but for a team that has sprinters and willing runners up front, they will enjoy the type of ranges of the passes that he has, that we have seen deploying when he was still at Stellis.
Now, finds the ball in a bit of space there. Attacking it is Mutela! Puts it just wide. Oh, some statuesque defending there from Orlando Pirates, allowing Mutela to sneak in there. Great ball whipped in here from the right-hand side.
You can see, you can see also the you know, the miscommunication between Zulu and Siema, and that's where Mojela found a little bit of space, but Mojela should have just redirected or maybe changed the direction of the ball a little bit, but he headed the way the direction where he came from. But that's the early opportunity that they could have used, especially with the early cross that they put inside the box.
Just about their best chance of the game.
Yeah.
Msendami is fouled. D'Angelo Kazim has had a tough time on this left-hand side. Yeah, Hearing will get a minimum of 3 minutes added on after 45. Now just the Pirates rotating the ball around here. Oswin Apolles. The 7th of November 2023 was the last time Pirates beat Sekhukhune United here at the Orlando Stadium. A 1-0 win it was in. Now here they come again, Ndlovu. Mojela spotting the run there out wide. It's Mkhize that brings it down, whips it in. Away by Zulu. You hear the cheer from the crowd. It's not a boo, they're all saying Zulu. Saluting Makeba. Now, giving chases Msendami. Good recovery from Kazim. Had to slide in. I'll tell you that all the great defenders will tell you that if you have to slide in, you are late. Or you were out of position.
Yeah, I think positioning-wise, I think yeah, you didn't position yourself very well. But then again, it was a counter from Orlando Pirates, and because Msendani was making the type of run and there was space being given for Msendani to be able to receive that ball, but Kazim had to make sure that he closes that space.
Oswin Apolles. Now, can he get a second? That would really make this game, make things very difficult for Sekhukhune, who have created very little in this first half. Won their last league game by 3-0 the Orlando Pirates. Could be in here! Oh, was it Mojela again?
Another opportunity again. You can see Coach Wadu not happy with how Orlando Pirates defend. Look at again that space as well, but to look at Mojela, of course, it was a little bit of a deflection. The ball just slightly, you know, was played at his back because he was expecting the ball to be played just in front of him, but yet again, another half chance that Sekhukhune had inside the box.
Another let-off for the Buccaneers there. Another let-off for the Pirates defense. Again, but that's a great run from Mojela. He's finishing though, let him down. Scored, of course, against the Orlando Pirates last season in the final of the MTN8. He scored a beautiful goal as well. Sipho Chain is just picked up something of a strain there, but it's going to take a lot more than that to displace him. Played every match last season and in the Betway Premiership, and young Siyabonga Dladla will just have to bide his time. Kazim into the first of minimum 3 minutes to be added on. And what is that? The referee gives a free kick against Sekhukhune. Sekhukhune really don't have a very good record away from home in terms of, I mean, they've conceded goals in their last 31 away games. Well, Sipo Chain here will get some treatment then as we approach half-time. I'm sure they can also give him a bit more attention as Cedric Kaze is complaining to Ms. Makalima about something or other. Abdeslam Wadu looking to celebrate his 50th match in charge of Pirates with a victory, no doubt. Come out again in decent numbers for a midweek game or two. This is Radio Pani. His first goal for Orlando Pirates since December 2024, and he scored against Marumo Gallants. And yeah, it's a long time to wait for a goal as a striker, but there are mitigating circumstances because he has, as I said, not played a lot of football. Was injured quite a lot in that intervening period. Sipo Chain is on his feet. And I guess we'll have a couple of more minutes added on because of that stoppage. Much can you see through that? You can definitely see. He's not completely blind. The mask of Zorro. Well, the last 3 matches between these sides were goalless at the break, and this is not going to be one of them. That's in the league, it is. Because now this is promising Rammala combining with Ndlovu. But just in that final third, Sekhukhune have let themselves down a little bit. Mutshela has had 2 great chances, maybe the one a little bit more difficult, the headed one. But the more recent one is Radio Pani. Plays in Msendame. Kazim goes with him. In the last 3 matches between these two sides, have seen Sekhukhune keep a clean sheet. So so far so good for the Buccaneers. Buitumela Radio Pani opening the scoring, the 37th minute, opening his account for the season. And who hadn't scored for nearly a year and a half. As I said, they have to go back to December 2024 for his last goal. And we stand by here for the second half. Well, Teko Modise is alongside me here. Teko, let me get your thoughts on how Sekhukhune can get back into this game. And what do Pirates have to do to extend their advantage? It looks like we're going to have a bit of a delay, by the way. Looks like running repairs to the net there, or there's something that was going on behind the goals there. Teko Modise, what did you spot?
You know, Titi, it's always about the mind games. We've seen that happening before the game, but I guess for Sekhukhune coming to the second half, we saw yesterday there's two goal-scoring opportunities, big chances that were created. They all came from the right-hand side where there was a space from a Hoto side. So maybe that's one thing that Coach Kaze can be able to look into, especially in the second half, because I don't see it on the pass playing a little more different. They're finding difficulties on Sebedebele's side. Maybe on the Hoto side, also with the young man Zulu, maybe the communication between those two, maybe it's not as solid as it should be. Maybe that's where Sekhukhune can find solace into, but also you don't want to open up a little bit more on the back. Maybe that defensive pairing also that's been very, very questionable. Kadoso and Mtsimbi, they've been solid, but Radio Pane is giving them heartaches.
All right, so we're all set then for action here. Match day 4 in the Betway Premiership. There's referee Pilanenko Kumalo gets us back underway. It is Sekhukhune United in the green, if you've just joined us. They get us back underway on the Pirates in the black as a Nyamangane attacking the goals to the left as you watch things. Sekhukhune, as was the case, chasing the game as they go into the second half, as was the case last Saturday when the sides met in the MTN 8 semi-final first leg. A 1-0 win for Pirates. They're going to do it all again this coming Saturday, right here. They will. There's a yellow card there for Mojela. It's a rather needless one, really.
Yeah. And look at also where he committed the foul as well. TT early on into the second half. Maybe that's what the coach maybe wanted to see a little bit more. It's unfortunate because you can see it was a late challenge. The ball was long gone.
Happy birthday, says Lishonolo Mojela to Oswin Apollos. First portion of the game. Just see the teams scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Pirates who made 3 changes from last Saturday's game. Sebangani Zulu coming into defense in place of Kosnatis Besi, where Matthew is being rested. Played a lot of football recently. There's a high boot there catching Masilela. Matsimbi, who has a bit of a high foot. The other changes, by the way, to the Pirates starting lineup was Daniel Msendami and Witumelo Radio Pane. In fact, all 3 changes are players making their first appearance or first start of the season, not first appearance, but getting their first start. In the case of Zulu and Radio Pane, it's a first starter for them. Radio Pane only made 3 appearances for Pirates last season. Betway Premiership. There's the new man Sebastian Pedersen, who made his debut off the bench against Sekhukhune last Saturday. And it doesn't look like there's too much damage done here on Masilela. I've seen a great deal of him. I think the head also, I don't know, bit of a high boot, but also the head went down a bit low into the I
think it was a follow through after Mtsimbi just won the ball.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. Play continues with Pirates down to 10 men for the time being. By the way, no changes from either side at the break. Can't really say there's been a need. By the way, as things stand, Pirates would go 3 points clear at the top of the table. Yeah, 3 teams below them on 7 points. Kaizer Chiefs, Mamelodi Sundowns and AmaZulu. As Pirates look to come back, Hoto plays the ball. Hoto plays the ball behind Radio Pane, disappointing.
Indeed, you can see that Toronto wanted to try maybe play a little bit earlier Or could have also still delayed a little bit because there was just him and Radiopane, and maybe wait for Radiopane to be in a better position to receive the ball just in front of him. But yet again, with one of those half chances that maybe Orlando Pirates could have used it better.
Giving chase here is Nkovu, and he will get there, but now needs support. Only one man in the box now, two. Ngozi, easy pickings for Sipho Jane. The match is underway. I can tell you that Durban City are leading 2-0 against Kruger United. The chasing pack behind Orlando Pirates, all in action tomorrow. Mamelodi Sundowns against Amazulu. We're also on 37 points. They meet tomorrow, and Chiefs are away to Richards Bay tomorrow night. Galaxy and TS Galaxy were locked at 1-1 at half-time. And Zwelele and Chippa were also at 0-0 at half-time. And I can tell you things have changed in that Gallants match. It's 2-1 now. It's 2-1 now to TS Galaxy. KZ, scorer of the only goal in this game last season at this venue. And just going in hard. I don't think the referee deemed it to have been studs up, but hard challenge. Chippa have taken the lead against Welele. Now Pirates still leading by a goal to 0. And never a comfortable lead, especially against a team like Sekhukhune, well capable of, and then they've had chances, well capable of getting something out of the game.
Indeed, with those just, not enough chances, of course, to really trouble that defensive line, but we've seen in today's football, you don't need too many chances to be able to win a game or to cause an upset. With those two chances that they had in the first half, those two early crosses from the right-hand side that found Mujela inside the box, those are the chances that they really created. Maybe they should be looking into then how then they can continue from that and create more chances, especially from their right-hand side, that is Sekhukhune.
Mujela goes down, and the referee will bring it back for a foul. And it's Mukubudi who's not happy with the call. Free kick in for Sekhukhune United. Ramala headed away. Pirates clear their lines. Masimbi. This is And Ramabu went down there under that challenge. That the referee saw nothing wrong with it. It was difficult to tell how much contact there was from Sbilibi. This will tell us. Just get a bit of the man. I think that catch him on the thin, but the referee didn't deem it a foul. This is a referee who does tend to let things go. He was the man in charge of that Mamelodi Sundowns game where Tebo Mokoena sustained a bad injury. And that injury, when he took the contact there, the referee didn't even give a free kick. So he is a ref that tends to let things go. As a header, it's just wide. Just another warning there for Orlando Pirates. Ramabu attacking it, frustrated with himself. Did very well to get in front of the defender yet.
It did very well. We can see there's so much time for Kazim on the left-hand side to be able to bring that ball in. This is the third big opportunity that Sekhukhune have created. They all came from a cross. This time around, it finds Ramabu inside the box. They could have done a little bit better. That is defensive Orlando Pirates, but again, maybe from a confidence booster, this is what maybe Sekhukhune should be trying to do. Go out wide, trying to bring the balls inside the box.
Just a warning that this game is not far from settled. As Mochela, who looks to twist one way and the other. They haven't given up the fight yet as Sekhukhune. Here they come again. Go wide to Kazi. Kazi again. Tiane. Makosi fans in the house. Their side in action tomorrow against Richards Bay, a match that has been moved away from Mhlatuzi State Sports Complex. He came here for Vobs. Kosi fan, you can see he's had a few drinks already. I'm looking at the number of empty cups he's carrying there. Space down this right-hand side for Ndlozi. What can he do against his former side here? Former teammates. It's a good ball out wide. Kazi. Good work, gets past him, Senami, but a great cover from Sbilibele, who has not set a foot wrong tonight.
Indeed, but what's encouraging as well from a Sekhukhune side is we have never seen Kazim occupying that high position in the whole of first half. You can just tell us then the conversation that has changed during halftime. Then they need to be a little more brave, maybe put more numbers going forward, and also maybe not allowing Sbilibele to add numbers going forward. That's why you see Kazim being able to win the corner.
Apollos. Ramabu has been involved. He's put himself about in today, giving the nod ahead of Tsepo Mokoena. Now Sbilibele with the ball into the middle here, away by Ndlozi. Acrobatic clearance. First touch from Ramala. He's a silky player, this Ramala. Just haven't seen enough of him in the game though.
Yeah, they know the danger that he possesses. They don't give him much time and space to cause any problems.
We're about to see a change here. The exciting player, this Tabelo Kositsile. Such a skillful player. And he's going to replace Daniel Msendame. And this should be a straight swap. Because Positile also likes to operate down the right-hand side. Such a dangerous runner with the ball. Thoughts there on the change, Tiko Modise?
Yeah, I think just to spark a little bit of energy going forward. We know how exciting he is whenever he gets onto the ball. And it's one of those really raw wingers that will come at you with high speed. Such a young and a brave, and I think maybe from a lot of parts attack, maybe that's what they need, just to get that second goal to give them a cushion that they need.
Yep. Sename wasn't that effective tonight. He needs a first start. His first second appearance, but he's first in the starting lineup. Chain. And put under pressure there by the hard-running Mujela. D'Angelo Kazi. Govu loses out. Oswin Apollos. Dion Hodor sprinting down this left-hand side here. Like he's 23 years old. Apollos gives it away. Ramala, who nearly gave it away. Mujela gets a lucky bounce there. There's a Ramala. Mujela taking them on. Still Mujela. Well, I'm not sure whether that was meant to be a cross or he was trying something really ambitious to beat Sipo Chain.
I think it was just yeah, I think it was trying to curl the ball towards Ndlovu was making a run. It becomes a very difficult thing to do because then his body positioning wasn't proper to allow him to be able to bring that ball inside the box. But this is the Mujela that they need, the more aggressive one.
Now, could be problems here. Empty net for the birthday boy! Happy birthday to you! And many happy returns, Oswin Apollos. Sekhukhune United caught out on the counter, and that might kill the game off. Well, this man celebrating like it doesn't mean a thing to him. In fact, not celebrating at all. It's like, bring on the cake, please.
But Titi, I want you to look at this as to the Radio Pani, as to how he finds a break. He can see he's a striker that we spoke about his goal ratio. He's a striker that is, finding stiff competitions within the team itself. He's supposed to be very selfish. Look at him. Look at the glance. He gives a glance on the left-hand side. He finds Apollos there. Composed Apollos with his experience, with his talent as well. But again, Mantsimbi, again, that defensive error that he had in the first half again, that's one thing as well that really in tonight's game between the combination and the communication rather from Cardoso and Mantsimbi. That's just why it caused the second goal. But kudos to Radio Partner to be able to realize that is in an awkward position. There is a teammate that is free, and Apollos as well to apply that pressure and compose inside the box.
You know you're in trouble when you as defenders find yourselves running at your own net like that. And that's exactly what happened there. They were caught out badly. Bad mistake there from Mantsimbi. And as you said, crucial errors that he's made in this game. A man who's normally so dependable for Sekhukhune. Well, that now really is a mountain to climb for Sekhukhune United if they are to get back into this game. And just as they were threatening at the other end, Pirates have found a second in the nick of time. They've had a double change in the meantime for Sekhukhune. We'll confirm it for you in the meantime. We'll confirm those changes for you right now. They are both attacking changes. Tsepo Mokoena and Thabo Ngwana have come onto the field, and there is our winner, Sponise. He made an effort. Give the man 30,000 rand for effort. Honestly, that's a hell of a load to carry. Now you can tell them, 30,000 here. My word. More is more with Sibonise. That's the message. Man is carrying a ship on his back. Meanwhile, the volume goes up again. The center line supporters in full cry now. Pirates seemingly, even with 25 minutes to go, dare I say, I think on their way to 3 points. And yeah, they certainly have got Sekhukune's number now. I said before, this is not a game that produces many goals. It's not a fixture that produces many goals. The last time Pirates, as we see Muchela again, probing. No way past Hotto this time. Apollos. What a way to celebrate your birthday. Well, he didn't quite celebrate the goal. I hope he'll celebrate the birthday a little bit more than he celebrated the goal. Maybe a man who's still also got a very heavy heart, lost a dear friend, of course, with the passing of his buddy, Jaden Adams. So, yeah. One of our own. That, the great Louis, a veteran. 25 minutes to go in this one. As I say, just get back to the point I was making. Pirates last scored 2 goals against Kuku in this fixture in 2024 in a 2-1 win. And they are seemingly on their way to a 2-0 win here. But we've never had a side, a team who scored more than 2 goals in a win here. Sekhukhune beat Pirates in 2022 by 2-0 in the home game for them. But the biggest win, of course, in the between these two sides was a 5-0 win for Pirates in MTN8 a couple of seasons ago. But in the Betway Premiership, always tightly contested. Oh, very near. Oh, that was a crunching challenge. And the referee has given was that a free kick to Sekhukhune? There's a card coming here. The way the man who's just come onto the field, by the way, Thabo Nkwana, is he the player who gets booked, or who gets booked here?
I think it is Nkwana that gets booked.
It's Nkwana that gets booked here. Yeah. The way he went flying, you would have thought he was the one fouled. Thabo Nkwana, who's not been on the field for that long. Hey. I don't know, that looked like a collision was there. Well, he didn't protest too much, so maybe there was malice in that challenge. And it's Radio Opani who's gone down, and assist and a goal for him tonight. I think that will make his coach very happy. Came in to replace Yanela Mbutuma. And he has delivered. And delivered in a big way. Now, more changes coming for Cedric Kaze. All right, double change then. Coming up also for, well, it's a triple change actually for Orlando Pirates. It looks as if, yeah, Radio Opani will not be coming back on because Sebastian Pedersen is going to come on. So we're waiting. Well, and Sekhukhune are also preparing a double change. Now, Mujela is continuing to work his socks off. We are hearing both goal scorers, while Radio Pane has already gone off. So we're hearing Oswin Apollos will be making way. Radio Pane is standing by on the sideline. Looks like he wants to come back on. I thought he was going to be replaced when I saw Pedersen off. Well, I guess he has to come back on, then he will be replaced. So Ndlozi can't get around Oswin Apollos, and they will take the corner first. But, it's not usually coaches won't want to make a change with a set piece. Well, just before a set piece is taken, they'll wait for the set piece. Can Ndlozi deliver a goal? They'll need to get some, try and pull one back now. Sekhukhune, they'll need a goal soon if they have to get anything out of this game there. Going to the deep over this one. And Vance easy pickings for Sipo Chain. Tries to pick out the runner there. May still get there, you know. Hositsile.
He's very fast, eh?
He is quick. Just got a bit of a shove there from Mkhize. Now, Ndlozi finds Mujela. Good work from Mujela. Now the ball whipped in from Mokoena. Came in for Ramala. Did Tepo Mokoena. Once again, Pirates will be happy that they have dealt with the danger men for Sekhukhune. I mean, if you nullify Ramala, job half done. They did the job on Mokoena last week, the weekend. High fives all round, Mukuburi and Sbilibili. Now they'll be, next target will be a clean sheet, which would be a third clean sheet for Sipo Chain. Starting to rack them up again. Will be a third in his fourth match. Conceded against Amazulu. In it comes, and Sipo Chain came out, but was taken out mid-air.
I guess it's always going to be an advantage being given to the goalkeeper, even if you can see right at this challenge.
I don't know what Ndlovu did wrong there.
Exactly, it's always the advantage is always going to be given to the goalkeeper. You can see also the coach as well is asking the same question as to them. When do you, as a footballer, you do allow to actually challenge for the ball, and when you're not, and the goalkeepers are always going to give in an advantage. That's why I always question the goalkeepers. Why don't you come out and be able to punch the ball? Because you're in an advantageous position.
They're a protected species, goalkeepers. That Siema who gets there first. Another solid shift from Limone Siema. By the way, when we were chatting about the shot on the Siema here, Fabian McCarthy was really listening to us, because he told me that when the shot on the Siema arrived at Celtic, he was actually a striker.
Really?
But the late Styles Pumo, he converted him into a centre back. The Styles Puma, who was also a great gentleman of the game, coach Bafana and the Lesotho national team.
Yeah. He coached me as well at Rio Stars, my first contract, professional contract.
Wow.
It was under Stars, it was under him.
Very respected man of football he was. So here we go. Another double changer for Cedric Kaze. And Karabo Tlaka, who started at the weekend is going to come on, and especially Mkize, who scored in his corresponding fixture last season, makes way. And then Wakeng Piri is the other player who comes on. He'll switch it, get into an attacking role down the left-hand side, formerly with Kazakh Stars. And then here comes the Viking, Sebastian Pedersen, player signed from Norwegian side Sonedal, which is in the second tier of Norwegian football. Was a former junior international, actually even had a single cap for the national team. His brother, of course, his older brother, is a much more accomplished footballer. That is Marcus Pedersen, who's a Swedish, rather a Norwegian international, but played as well in England. It's Moko Budem, who's given a task in midfield of patrolling that midfield area. And Ndlozi again lining up the corner as Sekhukhune continued to ask questions. The Pirates have had the answers so far, especially that man, Siem. Didn't get much of a look at Sebastian Pedersen over the weekend, so the 15 minutes we'll maybe get a better look at and see what he's about.
Also, it's just always going to be very challenging as a striker coming into a new country, new culture. A little acclimatization that is to happen. You need to understand also as to the way of play. But once being given a full chance and given like a full opportunity, I think that's when we can really assess him. But within the glimpses of what we saw over the weekend, he should be a very good finisher on and off the ball. He should be able to work a little bit harder and help the team defensively. But as a striker, you're always going to be judged based on goals.
Like Mbutuma, he's very mobile.
Yeah.
Gets around and puts the defenders under pressure.
Yeah.
He's got a heap of goals for his Solid outside. He had 8 goals in 14 appearances. Solid though is mid-table in the second tier of Norwegian football there. So, yeah, they had a big 8-0 win at the weekend, the cup game. And so it was... See, well, the stage is set. He's coming in under no pressure here is Pedersen. Maybe a chance to open his account. Heavy first touch, and he's taken out. Space opening up right down this left-hand side here. That's not a pass that was easily dealt with by Ndlozi. Ndlozi was not a happy return for him either to the Orlando Stadium. Because he will play for the Disky Challenge for the Montreux Golden Arrows and TS Galaxy. And then signed from Auburn College. Now, what a pass that was! Oh. Wow, what a ball to pick out Positile. The young man now could not keep his cool there. Whoa.
Did say TT that if there is a player that is new in the Orlando Pirates colors, which Orlando Pirates player they're going to enjoy in terms of the passes, that's him. Mantiani has those in his pocket. He just needs more game time. He has those. So that's a great pass, a great vision, and it is good this guy's pass to be able to pinpoint that in between the lines.
That was a killer pass, that. And just a little bit more composure from Positile, and it should have been 3-0. Tiani now playing it well the way back. Just over 10 minutes to go here. Pirates going through the gears now. Could be problems, and great tracking back. Kazim we're having to chase Speedy Billy. He's starting to get forward a bit more now. I mean, can be a bit more adventurous.
Can be because of that 2-0 cushion, but also be mindful as well as to then you still have a game to be able to play over the weekend. You are the right back of choice. You are one of the best right backs in the country, so you need to be able to manage the energies, especially going forward. But then again, as a footballer, once you know the adrenaline is there, you want to play, you want to go on and run, but he needs to be very smart in managing his energies.
Certainly for me, Billy has been one of the star performers tonight. Foul there on Buhlale Ngwatu, formerly of Siwelele, 20 years old. Also making a first appearance of the season. Now we're gonna have a change. Tabang Mahlangu signed from Orbit College is about to come on. Daniel Cardoso is the player being replaced, and Cedric has been shown down the tunnel. That seems to be the signal. Apparently he has been sent off. And that is why Ms. Akona Makalima is showing him down the tunnel. Well, it just goes from bad to worse here from... so he will not be on the bench on Saturday.
And TT, he was also a coach that struggled a little bit, especially early on into the season, to get his work permit to be able to sit on the bench marking his Durban City, and it is a big blow when he won't be on the bench, especially after such a big game, because you can actually see within the substitution that they're making with the resting Cardoso, with Mkhize, they're just looking forward to it over the weekend, and not, you know, having a red card in this game. It might actually affect as to then how that approach is going to be over the weekend.
All right, play continues. Sekhukhune now have played all their cards, and as far as players on the bench, to try and see if they can get just mount a late charge. The referee has stopped play now. I think he's been called upon to deal with well, where is he? He's sitting up in the stand there, Cedric Kaza. I'm not sure that's where he's supposed to be. Pirates are preparing another change. That'll be their final change. Cedric Kaza should have gone to the dressing room.
Isn't that supposed to be?
Yeah. Can't go and sit in the stands. He's still coach from me. So the change is going to happen now. Matrume Molai is going to do the latest player to make his debut. Molai on for Mukubudi. Yeah, really Cedric Kaza now showing off his depth as well.
And as Coach Wadu been giving so many players an opportunity, and it's important as well that you're giving them at home, you know, to get to acclimatize as then what it means to have those maximum points at home, what it means to have that home ground advantage and dominance.
Pirates are forced to be reckoned with at home. Lost only 2 matches at home last season, as only one of them was here at the Orlando Stadium. They won 10 of their 15 home matches and drew 3. This is only their second game here at home. They won their first game here at the Orlando Stadium against Milford FC. So 5 minutes remaining. Pirates goes 3 points clear at the top of the table. Albeit it could be only for 24 hours with Kaizer Chiefs, Mamelodi Sundowns, Amazulu were all on 7 points each. They're all in action tomorrow. Amazulu and Sundowns play against each other. Kaizer Chiefs also out there in KZN to take on Richards Bay. Matsimbi.
Guess who's converted now to a centre back from the Sekhukhune side, TT? No, we went back to become a centre back because of Cardoso being substituted just to add more numbers forward. But they dropped him back to become a centre back, partnering Umatsimbi at the back.
Sekhukhune United look like it's going to be 2 out of 2 away losses for them, and both have come against the 2 Soweto Giants. They lost to Kaizer Chiefs 2-0 by the same score line. Lightning has struck twice for Sekhukhune in Soweto. Last season away from home they managed only 6 wins. Telezi. Well, on this run, who would bet against Orlando Pirates reaching another final? Because they will come up against the same Sekhukhune, and in 2 matches now, it's been a little bit better from them this time than it was on Saturdays, but I think tonight they're going to pay the price as well for some wastefulness. You're not going to get many chances against Orlando Pirates, so when they do come, you have to be clinical.
You have to, and TT, I thought maybe over the weekend they would have used the pitch, the size of the pitch a little bit better to their advantage. Coming to Orlando Stadium is more wide open. It allows Orlando Pirates to utilize the spaces behind. It forces now you to run a little bit more extra. So this is possibly the good practice game for them to be able to use come over the weekend, to be able to know as to what is it that they need to do. But unfortunately, you know, the core Pirates players are not on the pitch to be able to play against, but the philosophies are still the same. But yet again, it always, you want to have an opportunity to win a game whenever you go play. That is Sekhukhune. Unfortunately for them, those defensive errors really set them into this back foot that they have now.
Paris now. Oh dear. Man toasted. It's in Tian. And turning it on Tian. It really is impressive.
Yes.
And again, another one who's hit the ground running here at Pirates. Must say that combination, you can see the familiarity is there between him and Mukovudi. Having played many games together, right next to each other in the midfield at Stellies. So that helps, that having a familiar figure next to, familiar voice next to you. You know how he moves.
That helps. Because then, especially in that midfield, there's no time to communicate. You need to have that type of synergy that you know, understanding between each other, and it really, really helps when you play with somebody that understands you fully.
Yellow card there flashed. Pirates want more. Never had 3 goals scored by any single team in this fixture. In the Betway Premiership, that is. Pirates have scored 5, as I mentioned before, against the Sekhukhune, and they thumped them in an MTN 8 quarter-final match a couple of seasons ago. We are into the last 10 seconds of regulation. Looking for a signal from Ms. Makalima as to how much time to be added on, and it's going to be 5 minutes. It's quite a chunk of time. Can Sekhukhune set up a grandstand finish here? Chance here! Mutela straight at the keeper. Oh, Mutela's been wasteful. The fact it was not Mutela, beg your pardon, but oh my goodness, they carved it open. Such a great move here. It's Matlang, it's Mukwena who came off the bench. What a chance, straight at the keeper.
It was that you can see that, you can tell actually then how quickly he was rushed to take that shot with his wicker foot. Great positioning there from Sipa Chain as well, not to panic. But it was a big chance nonetheless for Sekhukhune to be able to do something, because they only created 4 big chances. Wow. And they could have actually, you know, at least 1 in the back of the net.
So close to what would have been his 2nd of the season there for Tepo Mukwena. As man goes down, referee waves play on. Pirates march on. It's Matume Malai on the left-hand side went down. Now, can't get the ball in. They're trying to get the ball in the middle now. Peterson just waiting for his chance. Has he touched the ball yet?
Yeah, he has in a couple of patches. But also when you are new, you're surrounded by so many new players as well. So I really, really find it very difficult to create an opportunity for him, because it's important to get introduced into this team as soon as possible. It's important for him to get into the score sheet, to have that confidence.
Shot from range, way too far out to trouble Sipo Chain. Clean sheet loading. Clean sheet number 3 loading for Sipo Chain. So only 18 more to go to match his record from last season. Offside. Flag was up. It's the Molai there. Offside there. Not much of a shot there. Polis Masia was a former Pirates player, of course. Back in the days when you were still a striker.
He was still a striker, very aggressive striker, hard pressing.
Very aggressive human being. Polis Masia. He gets spit fire and given a chance, that man. Now against Sekhukhune here. I think they paid the price, and I don't know, maybe there's lessons to be learned from this one ahead of Saturday. Free kick given, but at least they tried a different approach. They were a little bit more positive tonight.
Yeah, they were, but also TT understanding as well that cup game and a league game are 2 different, you know, beasts. They all have their own lives, and you can also have a different approach come the second leg. over the weekend, maybe certain instances or certain players and different personnel that you've tried already? We've got a clear understanding as to then what is it that you need to do, because come over the weekend, Sekhukhune is not under pressure. Orlando Pirates is.
Yeah, no. Here they come again. We've got numbers in this attack here. He plays the ball behind Mahlangu. Tabang Mahlangu came on as a late sub as well, signed from Orbit College. The former under-20 and international. He was also called up to the under-23 squad for the Olympic qualifiers. There's a free kick here and a yellow card for the challenge there on Bushalengwatu. Gotta love the outfits. So bringing up 50 in style here is Abdeslam Wadu. His 50th match in charge is going to end in a comfortable victory. Comfortable in terms of a scoreline, but they definitely did have some scary moments. This will be win number 36 in 50 matches for Abdeslam Wadu. Josie's ball in, taken out of the air as a Pedersen attacked it, and that's it. That's the final whistle. Job done here.